and I have learnt that I have joined a communist cricket club. Look,
I was getting a public forum, right, outside an art gallery. And I sat there and listened to this guy spiel about how the Tyrannosaurus Rex was a conspiracy.
Welcome back to Critical Banter, second episode of the year. And my God, do we have a different episode for you. We have two brand new segments. First one, Inflation Game. We'll be going through some current prices, comparing them back to 2010, and we'll see who knows more. And we also have City Battles in honor of our special guest to be introduced soon. We'll be comparing Sydney versus Melbourne, the age-old debate, and we'll see which city is better. But before that, to wrap up this week, we've got me and Miguel. We have Rohit.
G'day.
We don't have Kush and we don't have Sen, but we have, if you know, friend of the show, we have Rohan. How are you, mate?
good mate. How are you?
Good. If you want to know more about him, what episode is it? Episode
12, Rohan was on the show for the first time.
Long time ago. Back when you were in without this professional setup. But
Don't lift the
cup. You're already on. You've begged for months now.
Oh, shut up.
Finally granted the wish. And just as a modern day intro, people can go back and listen. Maybe throughout the past few months, we've sprinkled some stories as well of some good and or bad
Every
things.
other week, it feels like.
But I remember recently, Rohan, both Rose as well. I can't call them Ro, man. It hurts. You've been telling me, Rohan, about you've moved down to Melbourne recently.
I have. And
back here in Sydney, you're a fiend for the cricket.
Love it.
So you so much so joined a team down in Melbourne.
Yep.
But there was something about him that you had to raise with me and Senny the other day. Tell us about that one.
Yeah. So I played cricket for a long time, went down to Melbourne, thought, oh, look, meet some new people, join a cricket team. All right. So one of my mates or her partner goes, hey, I play cricket, big club, come down. It's local. I'm like, sweet, easy, right? Not serious. I can, have some fun. I get a message being like, oh, I won't say the place, but, come join the club. It's blah, Reds. And I'm like, oh, that's normal. I don't know. Like in Sydney, the teams are, Balmain Blues.
I played for West Banner Hills Reds.
Reds, right? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, yeah, like that's fine. I'm used to that. I go down and, training, everyone seems nice. Before I get there, though, I get told, don't tell anyone your job. And I was like, all right.
What?
Yeah, I was like, all right, that's fine.
What do you do as a job?
I'm a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not like, it's not like you're
It's not, I'm not
like
drug dealer. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Get down there. Everyone's really nice. Everyone's really good. And anyway, get to, pass the training session and it's join the Facebook group. Okay, cool. I joined the Facebook group and this guy goes, I'll add you to all the group chats. And I'm like, good. This is how cricket works. This is how,
No flags raised
no flags raised. Actually, great blokes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I get told, oh, by the way, on Wednesday, a poll goes up in the group and it asks, are you available, right? A big club, it's casual. You can say, I'm not available. I don't want to play this weekend. Anyway, I get a message from the captain being like, hey, comrade, poll is up. And I was like, oh.
And is he Russian?
Sorry, he's not Russian.
Not Russian, okay.
And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, he's kind of like new guy. Let me just say call him.
Well, sometimes I call how you on, boss? How you on, chief?
Yeah.
Just another real respectful greeting.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit weird. Like, could have said mate. Could have said, like, hey, could have said Rohan. Hit me with comrade. Yeah. I look at the poll. It asks, comrades, availabilities this weekend. And I'm like, oh, this is it's a trend here. It's not one guy. And then I decide I'll actually open up the club's website. And the first thing I see is a hammer and sickle.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then I see bringing the working class struggle to the cricket field.
What?
And it all makes sense. And on my first game, we do like a little in cricket, like a debut thing. It's our welcome Rohan to the club, all that stuff with the team.
Yeah.
First thing I get handed is a pair of red socks.
Dude,
and it's
what is this?
And it's you have to wear these when you play.
Yeah.
Which, if people know cricket, you wear full white.
Full whites.
So the red stands out, and like
Was there any insignia on the socks?
Nothing on the socks.
Okay.
They're $3 from Uniqlo.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I get all right, Rohan, like, nice to meet you. He's a blah, 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 to the introduction to the team. And then they go, Rohan, this is a club based on values. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm used to boys cricket club, like rogue stuff, not.
I'm used to values being teamwork,
yeah.
winning.
Yeah.
Good
And I get
spirit.
told- yeah. And I get told like, we work about this club. It's about the working class man
Okay.
and the struggles they face. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, right.
And
I
meanwhile,
play the
you in
game.
your penthouse apartment,
No,
you're sitting there like working class.
yeah.
Making the rich richer.
Yeah, that's what I'm about.
Yeah. And I have learnt that I have joined a communist cricket club. Look, to be fair, great blokes, and I'll stay there. It just was a shock to me.
What, like, does that actually manifest in any way in the cricket field? Like, you all score the same number of runs, everyone gets an equal bowl. Like, what's the?
No, I think it's actually all fine.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of an adjustment period.
Have you started addressing people as comrades?
I haven't lent in yet.
I think it's a good lean. To be honest.
Yeah, it feels like a good lean, and I might lean very soon.
Hmm.
But for now, I'm kind of keeping my distance because someone did warn me. He goes, oh, and it's funny because like if you ever become successful, just before you become prime minister, jokingly, just before you become prime minister, I have proof that you were a communist. That when he's, and I'm like, yeah, right. Probably shouldn't lean in here.
Dude, wait, hang on. Are they all communists? Like,
See,
or are there people like you who have just joined the club
There
and
are-
figured out they're communist afterwards?
there are absolutely people who have no idea. In fact, the whole top team is guys who've just come from the subcontinent,
Right.
moved to Melbourne.
Yeah.
They've been here 2 years. They just think probably comrades like
The
mate.
way they talk in Australia.
They're like, oh, I've come to Australia.
Hmm.
Like you don't hear mate overseas. They're probably just like, oh, comrade.
Like hammer and sickle.
Yeah,
What great instruments.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, it's but look, I actually really enjoyed the club.
Hmm.
I'm having a good time.
You playing?
technically. I am playing. I played a couple weeks now. So
Standard? How is it?
pretty similar to what here. Like it's actually surprisingly good. The communists know how to bowl a leg spinner. Is all I'm trying to say. No, it's a good club. Good guys.
Interesting. I've got a quick yarn that I think I need your legal counsel on,
Mhm.
to be honest. I told Migs this a couple of weeks ago, but it actually has to do with our old high school.
Mhm.
So basically, one of my family friends currently goes to our old high school.
Yep.
He's in year 11. And it seems like the year 11s, they're a bit roguer than what we were. So there's like a 20-person group chat. No more is it like a 5-6 person. It's like get all the boys involved in the
Yeah.
group chat. Year 11, they're a bit toxic. They're also very bored. So what they've done is they're like, one Friday afternoon, we're going to organize a brawl. We're going to get, James and Danny.
Sorry, a brawl.
We're going to give them gloves and then we're just going to let them go at it. Right? So a boxing fight has been sanctioned by the year 11 boys.
Yeah.
by the board.
yeah.
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 So come Friday, they've obviously, invited their friends, invited the year 9s, the year 12s, come have a watch. So at the basketball courts, after school, Friday afternoon, that's when it starts, 3 p.m. 60 people have rocked up to this event, the main card, right?
Yeah.
They've got boomboxes and speakers and everything's blasting. They got referees. They've got, 3 judges. It's all been organized, honestly, pretty well.
Yeah. Good for year 11. Yeah.
Really
yeah.
well. And so they're going at it. And obviously they're making a ruckus, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like fun to watch your friends just hammer each
Yeah.
other.
Hey,
different kind. Yeah. Yeah.
A teacher then comes down. Here's this stuff. And then apparently they all said in the group chat, they're like, oh, if I yell this code word, we all just run. Because, again, great planning. They
Yeah.
knew a teacher was going to come down. They had a contingency plan in place. Teacher comes down, they yell the code word, everyone runs. One of the boxes runs directly in the path of the teacher. The teacher has then tackled the child, brought him up to the principal's office or his office or whatever. So now the boys who have scattered, they're all like, oh, that was crazy. We escaped. Oh, wait, where's Danny? Where is he? And then everyone's in the group chat, like asking, like, where are you? Like, is everything all right? This and that. Meanwhile, the teacher has basically grilled Danny in the office and told him, how much trouble he's going to be and you better unlock your phone and show me what's happening right now. So Danny's like in fear giving him the phone. The teacher's now reading the filth on the group chat and then he's now impersonating Danny on the group chat.
on like some messenger
That is
group
wild.
chat.
Yeah. So teacher rocks up and was like, guys, I think we're in a lot of trouble. Do you reckon the police will rock up? And all the boys are like, nah, the police got better things to worry about, like murder, right? That gets a standing ovation in the group chat. 15 laugh reacts. Teacher's screenshotting all this, clipping all the boys up. All of them, 20 of them, suspended. Now, Obviously, they deserve to get suspended. But my question is, what is the legal ramifications of impersonating a student on a group chat?
Yeah, that is wild. I don't know I think that's all above board.
It's all above board.
I think it might be all above
Bro,
board.
I don't even think the coppers can do that. It's entrapment.
Is it different because it's a child?
Yeah, maybe.
I think once you're in school, it's actually a lawless land. It's like the police, the principals, and the teachers.
Number one issue I thought was the teacher tackling the child. I thought it's like Target. Like you see a shoplifter, you let him go. The insurance will cover it. That's number one. Then the pressure of the kid to unlock the phone. That's grey area.
He's done it at the end of the day.
He has done it
voluntarily
on his own will.
Yeah,
The teacher hasn't gotten the phone and forced it, So that's...
He can use his word. I think that's definitely above board.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
It's a classic police maneuver, mate.
Yeah,
You pressure him in the grilling room, interrogation room.
Then the third issue is the fraud, impersonation, and then also sending like bait messages to like get the boys to start spewing filth.
Didn't you say like the teacher took photos of the chat or something?
Yeah, the screenshotted all the chat. And obviously, dude, remember our group chats in year 11? Like
filth.
Like pure filth, right? So this teacher's like going through it. And like my family friend, he's like really traumatized by the experience that like his group chat got leaked and he's like super careful. So I guess it worked in the end in terms of keeping, everything above board. But please.
I actually think I can't.
Tackling the kid is not, you're saying that's fine?
I reckon teacher can say, look, dangerous. There was literally a fight going on. He's been, or I'm assuming the tackler was a male or may have. Yeah, the teacher, sorry. I'm assuming teacher's gone literally 60 blokes, boxing gloves, boom boxes. This is a riot. I am stopping the riot in its tracks.
Yeah.
Like grey area, but I reckon.
Okay.
That's a good enough defense.
Good enough defense. Because like, let's say, there was two kids actually fighting and a teacher like grabbed one of them, held them back essentially, picked them up and threw them away to stop the fight. We agree that's all above board.
That's fine, yeah.
Because they're protecting each other.
Actually, in primary school, I had an incident. I had an incident of like this girl who I think was a little bit like, she's like off the rails a little bit.
Now or then?
Like then.
No.
Like in year 6. And she was like grabbing chairs and scissors and then just flinging them at people. Right? And then the scissors were getting thrown like katanas. Like, the throwing knives.
Shurikens.
Yeah. Not katanas. The teacher, like once she's chucked it, she's obviously got none left, has grabbed her and then just flung her.
And in year 6, you can fling them. Yeah, that's not that big.
They go.
Yeah. Yeah, so I actually think the tackling's fine.
Okay.
The only, I think, potentially problematic part is the impersonation. But I think, again, school, it's lawless. Like it's
anything goes.
Anything goes. And if Danny's opened the phone and said, here you go, sir, sir's got freedom. Sir can do what he wants. Yeah.
And also, how do you prove sir was impersonating,
Yeah. I mean, Danny will say that sir.
Danny said that sir's impersonating.
Yeah, but a little delinquent who wanted to fight his mate in the car park or esteemed teacher.
I'm
just thinking back to like incidents I've thought like in high school, right?
Yeah.
The reason I say it's a lawless place is you've heard like, I don't think it was our school, it might have been our school, maybe a few years ago, the muck up day where like people turn like a teacher's car upside down. Or like
that was not our school, was it?
No, definitely not our year.
Yeah.
Might have been another school. Or like there's that school where they put the cow.
Yeah, they put the cow on the roof.
Yeah, I remember that.
That is genuinely illegal criminal behavior.
Why? We're just leading the cow up the roof, up the stairs.
Yeah. Like kidnapping of the cow.
The cow went up, dude. The cow went up.
And then the car thing.
Yeah.
But like you don't hear these kids getting, and a lot of them would be, because this is like muck up day things, right? And you're 18 and you're 12, or a lot of people are 18.
Yeah.
Like you're dead set an adult. Could be criminally charged. You never hear that. No one gets in trouble. Like I'm just thinking, remember the school excursion hour where they kicked a goat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is like.
Dude, that was crazy. This is a story that I heard when I was doing work experience in year 10 at Bunnings. The bloke who was like my mentor, he told me this yarn because he actually also went to our old school about how they went on a school excursion, found a goat and then threw it off a cliff.
Because the logic was, so the teacher took them, like a bunch of kids with a science excursion or something.
Yeah.
And was like, this is a baby goat. clearly separated from the mother. It's gonna die in the wild.
Yeah.
That speed up the process.
Yeah.
Threw it off a cliff. Did you hear what happened after that?
No.
You're still alive.
It was still alive because they threw it and it didn't die. It was like kind of pretty badly injured, but it wasn't dead.
Yeah.
So they went down, threw it again. They're like, let's make sure. And this is all in
Let's finish the job.
let's finish the job. And this is all in
That's
like
terrible.
some parliamentarian found out and went to parliament and like said this whole story. So it's in Hansard, which is like the record of what was said.
Right.
There's like a full parliamentarian explaining how this teacher threw a goat not once but twice off a cliff with a bunch of kids being like, yeah, it's better off this time. Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. I don't think anything happened to that guy. The teacher.
Yeah, probably
Like
not.
he probably got like publicly, like, you know, teachers would have been like, school would have been like, what are you doing, mate? Maybe got fired. But like that is dead set animal cruelty.
Do you remember the teacher sitting us down and in like the year above, they went after sport one day and they started stoning like ducks and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were fine as well.
Yes.
Dude,
So
maybe
this-
you're right. Maybe
It's-
school, there's no
it's
rules,
absolute-
bro.
No
Yeah.
rules at school.
And then that guy, do you remember that guy? There was like a year where things were getting stolen on like a daily basis. Like,
Wait, what?
for example, we went to a cross country.
Yeah.
Everyone's bag got looted.
I do remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. This
Like
is right. Yeah,
everyone's like spare change gone. All valuables gone. You reckon that guy got
Yeah.
reprimanded beyond school?
No dramas. And then also the prefect, oh, dude. Obviously, like the canteen is run by volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the school decided, oh, you know what we need to do? Like, because we're not getting enough parents, we'll let the prefects every day, some of them will run the canteen on recess and lunch. That was like part of the responsibilities. The prefects were Rohan, myself, and Sen.
amongst
Amongst the 20, right?
dare I say, the least delinquent of the bunch.
And then what we would do is Sen would be behind the counter. I'd be like, Sen, here's 20 cents. And Sen would give me a pie,
Chocolate milk.
like the top of the line range, piece of rounders, whatnot. And then we got sat down as like a prefect body. And they're like, look, there's so much money going missing. And their hypothesis was that students were stealing the food. So be vigilant.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's really, I'm handing over the smallest sum of money I have in my wallet and I'm getting half the canteen for recess and
What was
lunch.
the wildest part is I somehow took part in this. I got more money back one time.
Yeah, because it wasn't just for the prefects. Look, all the boys in our
Yeah.
year, like whatever you want, we'll sort you behind the canteen.
Oh, this is the thing. Who's policing the police? At school, it's dead set. It's lawless. So I think, teacher, going back to the story, Danny, idiot
100%.
for giving the password. Like,
Yeah, but
I
when you're
guess
that
what-
age, I feel like
yeah, you're stressed, you're
and,
scared.
Yeah, it'll be on your permanent record, like whatever that means.
Yeah. But I think once that was done, and the tackling, I think is a safety thing, you're good.
I think that's
you're
the easiest
actually
thing to
good.
get away
That's
with.
definitely fine.
Mm.
And I reckon Danny's put a bit of mayo on it. I reckon Danny's just like, because he's the only one out of 60 who's got caught.
Yeah.
So he has to be like, no, man, like I was assaulted by this guy. He can't be like, oh, like I was just slow. This guy stopped me.
And I gave him my phone and did what he wanted.
Yes, he's definitely put a bit of mayo on it. But even if he hasn't, like, I think all above board. Good from the teacher, actually.
Alrighty, boys, today we're playing the inflation game. So obviously, cost of living has skyrocketed, dare I suggest. So today, I've got some prices of some popular items in 2023, and you've got to guess how much they were in 2010. So you boys will be writing on whiteboards. It'll be closest to.
Huge.
There's 11, maybe 12. We'll see how we go.
Surely 11
No.
guarantees a winner.
Odd number.
Yeah, guarantees a winner. 11 it is.
Think about that one?
I did.
Hold on.
All right. Item number 1. A Big Mac was $7.85 in 2023. How much was it in 2010?
You love a Big Mac.
I do love a Big Mac.
Did you love a Big Mac in 2010?
I'm more a McChicken guy. I feel like McDonald's is like inflation proof. It hasn't gone up that much, has it?
Isn't that the whole metric? It's the price of Big Mac.
I think that's around the world
yeah.
to like figure out the Big Mac index, I believe is what it's
yeah.
called.
How much was it in today?
$7.85 for
And
a
we're
Big
talking
Mac.
just a Big Mac. No
Just a Big
meal,
Mac.
nothing. All right.
In 2010, how old were we? We were 13 years old.
Yeah. Beginning of school.
So you're year 7. You going down to your local Macca's?
I'm not buying a Big Mac. I don't have the
The funds?
finances for that.
Got your answer?
I got my
Migs?
answer.
I've
Let's see it.
gone $5.50.
I've gone $4.80.
Rohan is on the board. $4.35.
Dude,
That's bargain. That is
Bargain,
actual
man.
bargain.
Under $5. Big Mac, no dramas. Item number 2 is a 2-liter bottle of milk.
Oh, this is easy.
You know it.
I'm 99% sure I know it.
In 2023, it's $4.20.
Sorry. That's 2 liters. What milk are you drinking?
This is the averages. In 2010, how much was a 2-liter bottle of milk?
I don't know what milk you're drinking because this is
what are you
not.
thinking? Home brand?
Woolies basic brand
Mm.
is like $3 for 2 liters now.
Okay.
So you're probably thinking A2 or something.
No, A2's more though. It's average. It's in between.
$4.80 today?
$4.20.
$4.20 today. I'm ready. I'm
Rohan.
You
I've
first.
gone $3.10.
Mhm.
Oofed. I've gone $2.80.
$2.27, my
It's
dear
doubled.
friends. Price of milk has
That's
doubled in
crazy.
13 years.
Those farmers are getting away with it, I'm telling you.
It's cartel behavior.
Exactly, man.
All right. 2 kilogram bag of sugar. The scores are 1-1
Yeah,
currently.
1-0.
Sugar. 2023, $3.20. 2010, how much? Did much baking back in the day, 13-year-old?
Not buying bags of sugar, dude.
Yeah.
I'll go first this time. I've gone $1.50.
Mm.
I've gone $2.50. I think sugar's inflation proof.
$2.10. So that's
I
40
win.
You're
cents.
closer.
Rohan
I win.
wins. 2-1,
Yeah.
Rohan's winning. All right, this is actually,
10-1 Rohan. Yep.
I think Rohan might take this one out. A slab of VB.
Oh, yeah. Back in 2010
yeah,
when
back
you.
in 2010 when I was 13. Yeah.
You'd be drinking for 5 years at that point. $63 in 2023.
Absolute raw.
How much
Worst
was
beer in Australia.
a slab of VB
Slab
in
is
2010?
24.
30.
Yes. 30.
30 cans. Sorry, a slab of VB 25.
25 cans.
Mm.
Like I can't think of. It's short.
So there's always been taxes and tariffs, is what
Yeah.
you're telling me.
Yeah.
And those taxes and tariffs have stayed constant over 13 years.
Look, I've got. You think what you want? I've got my number.
What was the number
$63 now.
for 25 cans?
Correct.
Jeez, how many numbers are you writing
Go
on
on.
that thing? $44.
Shit. Got $39.99.
$45.99.
Oh,
13-year-old Rohan will be proud.
exactly. It's when you go into his wheelhouse, bro.
but but I think the tariffs have increased significantly.
Surely there's a percentage.
No, as in like I think alcohol is being increase in taxes every single year. They love increasing the price.
Probably, but I'm thinking like making beer is not easy.
Mm.
It's always been.
I mean, you can buy a kit at Woolies, dude.
Brew your own beer.
Yeah.
Brew your own beer. put
Coopers,
the
you haven't
caps on.
seen that?
Exactly. Coopers.
All right, well, this one's for you, Manu. A pack of Winnie Blues. Some Lung Wallies. In 2023, it cost you $42.99. How much did it cost you in 2010?
So when Ro brought that pack to school,
Yeah.
he could afford it.
He definitely could afford it.
So I
He was
wasn't-
given away for free. It can't be that expensive.
Exactly.
And he
Man.
was trying to
Generous man.
Get everyone in,
Mm.
into it.
On the playground, no less. This is another taxes are.
I think taxes have gone through the roof on.
Darts.
When do they start putting the images on the? I think it's after 2010.
Yeah, it could be.
But surely that also coincides with increases of taxation.
I think I would
Yeah. What do you think?
agree with that.
Thanks.
When they started chucking the dead babies and
How many is in a pack, Ro?
I don't know.
That is absolute lie. You
I
do not.
actually don't know how many is in a pack.
He just works through them quickly. So I can't count.
Is it like
off it.
12?
Yeah. No,
No,
20?
It's like 20,
Yeah.
I think. 20,
20 or
25.
40, I think you can get.
40.
I think there's big
40
packs.
pack.
Am I going? Maybe
You're
I'm.
probably right.
I think there are.
That's not the ones
side-
that I buy.
Yeah. All right, so $42.99 today, Winnie Blues.
Mhm.
I've gone $32.
I've gone $18.50.
$12.68.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's gone through the roof.
No wonder people got lung cancer like it was nothing, man. What?
Was
Yeah.
how much Rohit's lunch order cost. That's why you could afford them back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Skip lunch.
Pizza round and chicken tender roll.
20 pack of Winnie Blues for dessert.
Easy fucking decision.
It actually makes a lot of sense when people smoke a pack a day now, or like 2 packs a day.
Yeah, it's 2 coffees.
Yeah, it's cheap
back
as.
then.
That's actually crazy.
All right, 4-1.
Shit.
Mine needs a bit
I'm
of
going 10-1 here. I'm going 10-1.
Okay, let's see. 500 grams of butter, $6.40 in 2023. How much in 2010?
I feel like beginning of this year, there was like TikToks of people stealing butter from, like they would go to their parents' home. You know, people who moved out of home our age go and steal their like grandparents' butter because it's gone through the roof. Lurpak in particular, that brand, apparently.
Is that the like grey and blue one?
That silvery, yeah. And so I'm thinking if it's $6.40 now, like I don't think it was anywhere near that because, all right, I think I've got.
How much?
$6.40.
And how big?
500 grams. All right, Rowie B. What do you have?
I've gone $2.10.
Manu?
I go on $2.
$2.78. 5
yes.
That's how it feels to be you during these games, bro.
Dude, this is kush, mate. Just getting plastered. All right. I found one food item. Mum Pad Thai. So Mum is the restaurant name. Shout out. Their Pad Thai.
Is this like your local Thai place?
Well, no.
That you just had a brochure of like 2010?
It's one of the only Thai places I could find the longevity from 2010 to 2023.
Sure, yeah.
So okay, this is important information. They started in Surrey Hills.
Okay.
They're now in Barangaroo. In 2023, their Pad Thai was $27 or is $27. What's the 2010 price?
I know the place.
You know it?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's good.
Did you go to 2010? Did you have a go?
Not in 2010. It's actually probably the best Thai in Sydney.
Okay, that's a hot
hot.
take.
Yeah.
Save it for the next segment, mate.
$27 for a Pad Thai. Prawn Pad Thai. Manu?
Gone $14.
I've gone $13.50.
$13. Oh, wow. That's a valiant effort from...
The thing is, I'm not even doing that bad.
No.
It's just he's fucking doing better.
Okay, we move to a kilo of potatoes. 2023, $3.80. 2010, what's the price?
I reckon potatoes cheap. Even now, for a kilo, $3.80. That's heaps of food. And I reckon they've always been...
on the cheap side.
But crazy cheap is what I'm thinking.
Well, I think they're a humble food. I think it's a staple of the Australian diet. Bangers and mash, sausages and potatoes. You can't make them too expensive, can you?
I've gone $1.80.
Oh, here we go. I've gone $2.
Manu, finally. $2.32.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go last one. Because
I've won.
Because you've won easily. Yeah. We'll just stop the slaughter.
Yeah,
Wait, what? This one's 10 points.
All right, tea bags. 100 pack. 2023, $13.50. 2010, how much?
$13.50 for 100 tea bags. Are you sure that's the right price?
That is
sounds like a lot
of like a lot of money or a lot of
a lot of money.
So what?
Tea bags to give out fucking willy nilly, man.
Mate, I went on Woolies website this morning, last night.
$13.50. Do we remember the brand that you looked at? No.
I believe it may have been a Twinings.
$4.40.
You're mad. I've gone $4.46.
Well, Manu wins, but you guys are nowhere near it. $9.45.
What?
But
Isn't that wild? We went $4.40 each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
That is a bit
Have you got
strange.
$4.46?
I wanted to get exact somehow.
Things priced at 6 cents in the
Average.
Averages.
Yeah,
So he had a good shot. But Rohan's come in as the guest
Wiped the floor with it.
and just absolutely hammered Manu. I'm sorry.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alrighty, friends. New segment. We have city battles. We've come up with this as our special guest has lived in both cities. But what we want to do is figure out which of the two cities are better. And on today's version, we have Sydney versus Melbourne. This is one you see in the zeitgeist everywhere. You see everyone talk about one over the other. And today we'll figure out which one is which. So we've got a couple categories and we'll go through each of them. We'll determine which city is one. And then at the end, we'll be able to determine which city is best. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Yep.
Alrighty, first category we have is food. I think both cities, to be fair, are known for good food.
That is true.
I would say. We've got Surrey Hills here.
Yeah, but it's Melbourne.
Really?
Yeah. Melbourne food, I think there are just way more options and it's constantly changing. Like the new restaurants popping up, old
restaurants not making enough money. They got to go out of business, mate. That's what I'm hearing.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but is it? I'm personally okay if a struggling family restaurant closes because if the food's not good, the food's not good. I think in Sydney, restaurants get away with like if they have a good view
Mm.
or, you know, like it doesn't have to be good because people will come there to take the Instagram photo of the Harbour Bridge or whatever.
Okay, so wait, what are we comparing? Are we comparing top of the line versus top of the line? Because I want to compare
The common man's
common
food.
man.
average
Yeah,
Joes.
so give me a budget because top of the line, I think Sydney, or like they're both really good, but like that's not your everyday.
Mm.
Are we talking your $15, $20 dinner? Are we talking your $40 dinner?
I think you're $20 to $40. That's where my head's at right now.
Yeah. I still think Melbourne because $20 to $40 these days in Sydney, it's almost like you're local. Like you're not going into the city nowadays for much other than like Haymarket or Chinatown.
Both class places to go, I must say.
It's fine. But in Melbourne, full range. The whole CBD, every other like shop, you'll be able to get a meal for between 20 and 40 bucks and a good meal.
Mm.
Like real solid. You actually, I think if you spend $40 in Melbourne on food, you'll be incredibly satisfied, very full.
I can go to Jimmy's Falafel here. That's probably under $40.
Yeah, so you're naming one, like Jimmy's. Yeah.
You're naming zero.
I'll throw out some names if you want, but I need some, like, I'm not sponsored or anything. So
Fair play.
yeah.
No, give us, okay. And you take all cuisines, literally Melbourne, better Thai, better Chinese, better Italian.
Yeah, the only one that maybe it's just I haven't gone to the right places because I've only been there for half a year. The only thing is like Lebanese, Turkish. For some reason, I haven't found it in. And I think the only reason I can think is because the Greek food there is so good and the food's kind of similar. So like,
You've offended a lot of Lebanese.
I have offended a lot of Lebanese
listeners right now.
Yeah. But I think because there's so much Greek food, good Greek food, there's probably like not the huge Lebanese food.
What's the Cabramatta equivalent in Melbourne? Is there one?
I guess get Cabramatta, Eastwood kind of equivalent, you're talking?
Nothing.
No, like Glen Waverley, which is a suburb. But I don't even think that you need to worry about like the suburbs for a cheap meal.
See, that I feel like immediately is a massive red flag to me. You're saying that you're getting for example, right?
Yeah.
Different areas of Sydney. Cabramatta, brilliant Vietnamese food.
Yeah.
Right? If you want Lebanese food, you go out to Granville, your Auburn's, that sort of thing. Right? You're telling me that authentic quality is found in the city in Melbourne.
City or surrounds. Carlton, Fitzroy, South Yarra. Like there are heaps of options. But
is this like all modern versions?
Can be, but not necessarily. Like I think
I want authentic.
I think in Melbourne City, you'll get a $15 like noodle, cheap, like authentic kind of place. And literally next door will be a $50 Asian fusion place. And they'll both live in harmony and they'll both have lines out the door because they're both great. I'm going to die on this hill.
Okay.
Like I'm that confident.
I'll say this. When I went to Melbourne recently to visit you, actually.
Yeah.
I was taken by a Melbourne local to lunch.
Yeah.
Right?
As in not me.
Not you.
Yeah. I was
like
going to say.
my colleague.
I don't think I took you to lunch, but yeah.
And there were a lot of lines at all the restaurants.
Which some people get thrown off by. I think it's a great sign.
Yes. The food was good. Granted, but I'm just saying, like, why is there lines? I'd love just to walk into a restaurant without anything.
That's why you need like the Cabramattas of the world. There's about 20 Vietnamese restaurants. You just pick one and you're good to go.
Okay, but I'm honestly happy saying Melbourne has better food. Like I'm happy with that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1-0 Melbourne.
Fair enough. Next one we have is nightlife.
See, I am not a huge I'm not going out clubbing, so I'm talking bars mainly as opposed to clubs because I don't go clubbing in Sydney. I don't go clubbing in Melbourne, although I know a lot of people that do. And they would say just on the hours alone,
Melbourne's a clear winner.
Yeah.
In nightclubs.
Nightclubs, no doubt, because they're just open all the time.
Yeah.
Compared to Sydney.
Bars, what's that nightclub that opens like 24 hours?
Revs.
Is that Revs?
Yeah. Yeah. It's good video of Revs at like 8 a.m. on like a random day. And it's just, you can't tell.
Really?
Yeah. If you saw that video, you'd be like, well, this could be like, it's a crappy kind of dirty club, but you could be like, this is midnight. You wouldn't be able to.
Well, it's like the casino. They black out everything.
Yeah.
No clocks, no nothing. Can't tell the time.
I think this is obviously, like Manny, you and I have spent, months on tier lists of Sydney clubs and we were struggling to find anything good to say about the clubs. Even the bars. They're not that good.
Yeah.
They're not that creative.
The only thing that I think Sydney has going for it in terms of bars is rooftop bars. Like there are some in Melbourne. The problem is the ones in the city, like what are you looking at? You're looking straight at other buildings.
The Yarra River, mate.
Yeah. They're not great.
That's true.
there are a couple like decent ones, but they're like I think Sydney's rooftop bars clear.
Like what? Your Babylons, your Bar Hombres.
Bar Hombre, Babylon,
Taylor's.
Harper, Rooftop. There's probably a few more that are not coming to me, but they're like they clear because they're just like this open space. So the whole point of a rooftop is you can see out, it's nice weather and all that. Not in Melbourne.
The Melbourne skyline is trash. So you have a look at it and you're right, the
It's
weather.
not the best.
Yeah, so we're sitting there and you're in the bar. It's less vibes. But in terms of just like, I think there's more creative bars in Melbourne.
Way more creative.
Like I went to this sick I forgot what it's called. It's like sick Japanese inspired bar.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting there like, dude, they've like put so much thought and effort into
Yeah.
the decor and just like the overall like atmosphere. Bravo.
Yeah. So there's a few bars. I'll shout out to one, even though I'm not getting paid for this. It's called Birdie. BYRDI. Birdie. It got described to me by someone, a bartender, as the fine dining of cocktails. It is $33 for a cocktail.
That is a red
Insane.
flag.
But it is like the craziest cocktails you ever see. And not gimmicky crazy. Like, you go to a bar here and there'll be like fairy floss and like that smoke and the bubble and all that crap. None of that. Just like we use like Kakadu plum, like native ingredients. This is a chef making these cocktails.
Yeah.
It's the best one I had. It's called a Monte Carlo, like the biscuit.
Mm.
And it was like, you have this ice cube and it's like, you have to lick the ice cube before you drink the
That
drink.
sounds like a massive gimmick.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
What the heck?
It wasn't.
It wasn't because it's $33.
Yeah, exactly. Cost how much?
Copium, bro. That's
Yeah.
what this is.
But I
So
think
what's it? You lick the ice cube and then what do?
you drink
the
it
drink.
and like it's meant to like the cold and then the there's a powder. Sorry, there's a powder on the ice cube. You're licking that powder
Right.
and then you drink it. It's meant to mix. It's unbelievable.
In 33 smacks?
Look, 33 strikes for a drink is a lot, but you're not drinking 6 there. You're going there for 1 and you're sitting there for an hour. Like that's the vibe. They give you a little grape as your palate cleanser, like a single grape.
Dude, this is
on this little like.
That's so
stick.
pretentious, no?
But
if the cocktails are good, fair enough.
Yeah. So but I think the consensus, I think even a lot of Sydney people, like when they go to Melbourne, they'll go out. And I think lockout laws like ruined Sydney's.
Oh,
nightlife,
100%.
Which like I'm not I'm not going out all the time or anything, but I can still see like when I'm in Melbourne, I'll just randomly be out till 3 or 4 in the morning. And it's just because things are open and people are out.
And it's the thing, it's like everything is open, not even just bars and clubs. When I was in Melbourne, the fucking Krispy Kreme closed at 2.
Yeah.
Like, why does it need to close at 2? But it's closing at 2.
Yeah,
And that's just the vibe of like everywhere.
And like here, if you're thinking, let's say it's even like midnight, 1 a.m., you've been out in Sydney, you want a drunk like feed, kebab, pretty much it. Maybe Macca's, like if you can find it.
Or you really need to know the places that are
There's
open.
very few. Whereas in Melbourne, going to like just literally walk down the street, pick one of 6 proper restaurants. Like it depends if you want that. Point is the options there because the Macca's and kebabs are there.
Obviously, it's a given.
But it's like, I want, I don't know, Chinese food. Take one of 5 options. They're all open.
At 1 a.m., they're open.
Everything's open.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's clear.
Yeah, that's clear. There's
2-0.
no question. Yeah, 2-0.
Right, 2-0. Hopefully Sydney gets this next one, but I don't think they will. Culture. Now, when we say culture, are we talking about people? Are we talking about arts and culture? Are we talking about, what other culture could we be talking about? Society and culture, S&C?
I think we're talking like arts, music, like, I don't know, that kind of nondescript culture. I don't know how to describe
the arts is sort of what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I think, again, despite me living in Sydney for the vast majority of my life.
But are you in a honeymoon period, mate?
I could be.
Your eyes are just, you've got rose-tinted glasses on at the moment.
I could be. And the thing is, culture, it's hard because I'm not, that's not.
You're not a culture man.
Guy.
But I think the vibe is there is more things in that kind of space that happen in Melbourne. Art galleries. Like what's that one everyone goes to? Loom or something? Or you pay like $70, but people come to Melbourne, Loom with an M, not the
Van Gogh?
Yeah, because they got the Van Gogh exhibition, man. That's all they have.
Yeah.
They're Van Gogh merchants.
I went to the New South Wales Art Gallery recently.
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah.
And that was a free experience.
Yeah.
Delightful. And then outside there was a guy preaching on a soapbox, not preaching. He was talking about dinosaurs and whether they existed or not. And
that's class debate.
I was getting a public forum, right, outside an art gallery. And I sat there and listened to this guy spiel about how the Tyrannosaurus Rex was a conspiracy from NASA. So let's not forget these battlers.
Yeah, what else do we have? MCA.
Yeah, beautiful.
White Rabbit Gallery.
But I'm grasping at straws.
So
yeah, I think, There are more like, I feel like when cultural things like art exhibitions come, they always seem to go to Melbourne first.
Sculptures by the sea. Where's your Sculptures by the sea?
First, where's your sea?
No sea.
And then where's your Sculptures by the sea, man? Vivid Sydney. That's for arts and culture.
That's massive draw.
That is a big draw.
You tell me last year people come from all sorts of places just to see Vivid Sydney.
Yeah, that is true.
2016, everyone had the profile picture of those lights.
Oh, yeah.
The arches, the arches.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, the problem is I'm not in the culture like to know.
But I still think that
the consensus is Melbourne. And like for
Melbourne.
people who are in that, people come to Melbourne for those kinds of things, right? But I don't think people come to Sydney for that. And like if we're talking art galleries, like objectively, the NGV is the best art gallery in Australia.
It's very good.
Like I love the art gallery in New South Wales. It ain't the NGV.
Okay.
So
3-0. 3-0. It is what it is. But like who cares? I personally don't care about the arts that much.
I don't care either. I actually think that one's closer than people give it credit for. Because I think Sydney's like, we're just not in it enough. Like, I think if you're in it, you'll find things to like in that space in Sydney.
Does music have a shout in any of this at all? Does it sway the needle at all? Or is it all the same? Do all the big artists go to Melbourne?
I think that if they come to Sydney, they come to Melbourne and Sydney, very few will go just one and not the other.
No, Melbourne 3-0. We move.
Right, next one we have fashion.
I have a strong take here. I think Sydney fashion is pretty homogenous.
What is it then, if it's homogenous?
As in, more like if you saw someone, you wouldn't be able to be like, oh, that's a Surrey Hills person. That's a Double Bay person. That's a Balmain person. Whereas in, like, because I'm talking about in the city, right? When everyone comes together, you wouldn't be able to pick where they're from. Like when I say it's homogenous, like, you go out on a Friday night, it's
like there's nothing distinct.
There's nothing, right?
Like,
Every other guy is wearing chinos, RMs, a button-up shirt. I'm wearing chinos, RMs, and a button-up shirt. Like, you go out to the shopping center, on a hot day, shorts, t-shirt, shoes. Like it's the standard, right? Like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just there. Melbourne, I think you walk in the city. It's on a weekend, right? Not on a weekday when people are working, but when on a weekend, Fitzroy person, South Yarra person.
You're picking that?
I think, and this is
alone?
me being there not for that long. I think, and if you just go into those areas, like,
I think I'm picking an inner west Sydney person.
And also, Darius says, do I even care? Like, if it's different per sect?
Yeah, do you like it? Do you like the baggy jeans and the oversized tee?
And also, I think your base of comparison is you lived in a suburb locally.
This is true.
Where, people are less fashion, like give a shit about fashion, whatever. You're comparing it to the heart of Melbourne.
I reckon there's something good about not seeing the same. Like,
I would agree. I think that's a big plus.
It's just different, right? It doesn't matter if I appreciate it. Like I'm wearing the.
But how different is different?
There's the Fitzroy like uniform, right?
What's the uniform?
Yeah, which is like the khaki pants. Depends on the shoes. Could be like the what's that? Like people wear like hiking shoes. I'm blanking on the name. Salomons. But there's like a thing that people call it, like wearing. But it's this fashion trend wearing like.
Hiking shoes.
Like those kind of,
Okay.
Right? So it's khakis, those, some kind of like either a half sleeve button up or a t-shirt, but then with like a khaki vest.
So they love their khaki in Fitzroy.
Yeah.
Okay.
South Yarra is South Yarra, to be fair, is kind of similar to our eastern suburbs, Double Bay, like active wear on a Saturday morning, but like fine. But like the thing is, that's just that area. So whereas here, the activewear person could be from anywhere. Like that's fine. But like feels like no one else.
There's nothing wrong with that. We're one city, man.
South Yarra.
Cohesive.
Yeah.
We're a cohesion, man.
Look, I'm
happy to give this a draw.
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's a personal thing, but I think Melbourne leans slightly, but I'm happy to give it a draw.
I'm backing the boys in Sydney.
Yeah, let's give it a draw.
Okay, draw.
Right, with the draw 4-1, the next one we have is friend-making abilities.
Yeah, this should be up the wheelhouse, right? You went to Melbourne knowing little to no one. I think in Sydney, it's very difficult to make friends.
I agree.
So I have made my high school friends. They're sitting in this room. I made a handful of uni friends. I really have no work friends. That's it.
But Sen, serial work friend sort of guy. He's made plenty of work friends everywhere. So is that just an indictment on us rather than Sydney?
I think like once you're in, because the thing is, no one moves away for university. So everyone just sticks with the friends that they've known in high school. There's no reason to make new friends. And so people who come from like overseas or interstate, it's very hard to break in because no one's looking. No one's looking.
Yeah, they
to
make friends with other people that have moved in state, et cetera, et
Correct.
cetera.
Like making a Sydney friend, I feel like as someone who is not from Sydney is very difficult.
Yeah, and I think that's right. I think the other tricky bit, and this is like with Sydney, a lot of people firstly stay at home longer, like as in at the family home longer, because it's so expensive to move out. So like during uni, they'll make a financial decision and they'll either like move out and then work like crazy to pay it off, pay the rent, or they'll just stay at home. But this stays like even when you're working, and even when people do move because of affordability, like they move broader places in Sydney. Whereas in Melbourne, I think because it's more affordable, people stay pretty close, which means that like catching up with friends, it's not a difficult thing. Like let's say you have a mate, you're living in, I don't know, Double Bay. Like if you're very, you're money bags, you're living in Double Bay, and you have a mate who lives in Erskineville, like both 20 minutes from the city-ish, 25 minutes, but you're not ever going to each other's area. Like Double Bay to Erskineville is going to take you like an hour on public transport if you really wanted to go there. And it's like, whereas in Melbourne, firstly, it's all connected. So the person who's like, oh, I'm moving out, I'm moving to Fitzroy, moving out, I'm moving to South Yarra, it's not ridiculous to live there. And maybe this is coming at it from a Sydney point of view. Paying like $300 a week in rent to me is nothing because in Sydney, I'm conditioned to 500. But even then, like they're earning pretty similar money. They all move out pretty close. And then everyone's super like easy to catch up, easy to do things. People aren't worried about, oh crap, it's Friday night. Like I'm having a drink with this new group of people, I got to get home, which is in the back of people's minds when they're living far away. I reckon on that, it's slightly easier. Plus, I think there's more things going on. Like this probably goes back to the culture. Like, oh, I really want to go to this art show. I really want to go to this like concert and stuff. And people are like, oh yeah, let's just get a group together and go.
You made mates?
Yeah, I made a few mates. I think initially, like I think this is just new city. Like it's tricky initially, but then. And I think people are more willing to introduce, maybe this is just I've met the right people and I'm lucky, but like you meet one mate. I feel like in Sydney, the problem is not just making mates initially, but people tend to like, or can like not want to share their friends a bit.
Is that a thing? You mean like introduce to the wider group? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like let's say I met you, right? Like you have a bunch of friends. Imagine I'm new to Sydney. I met you. It feels like there might.
So you feel like you might be my friend, but you're not Rohit and Sen's friend. You're not Kush's friend.
Yeah.
You're my friend on a separate basis.
Exactly. You would have to be a very unique person to do that. Whereas, at least in my experience in Melbourne, it's like, oh, I'm your friend. Oh, I'll introduce you to my friends. And then potentially, if once you get close to the person in that group or people in that group, oh, I'll introduce you to my friends. Because people aren't.
So compounds, where people gatekeep here a bit more.
I think so.
When was the last time that I introduced someone to my friends? That's not like your mate's significant other or anything like that, right? Like just a platonic friend.
But step one is a problem for me. I'm not even at step one of having this new person to be able to introduce.
Yeah, okay.
Like work friends, I just chuck in our group every.
Well, I met one of your friends once.
Yeah, I just brought him along.
He
man.
stole $1,000 off me.
Hey.
What?
He made me invest in some random crypto.
That's not stole. That's your fault, mate.
And so you just bought some sort of crypto coin off this guy?
Yeah, we were at the pub and he's like, get on this one. And I was like, this was crypto mania.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
I can't lose.
I can't lose. In fact, I did lose $1,000.
That speaks to your financial decisions rather than making friends.
Okay, so the only example I can think of is like, for example, years ago, we played OzTag.
Yeah.
I met some new people there.
Yeah.
They have become, I introduced them to our friends. We played board games with some of them.
But did you introduce them or did they?
They were introduced to you, no?
They were introduced to everyone at the same time, weren't they?
Yeah.
Through OzTag?
Okay.
I'm talking
but then that's two steps. So they got introduced to us. Yeah. And we introduced them to some more people. So we just great people.
Shush, none of that. But is there the barrier of, because we met them through OzTag, it's like, because I'm thinking of you're just some absolutely new person coming in.
No.
Are you even getting in those circles?
Also, I should say, I've noticed a thing, like a lot more, there's this concept in Melbourne, which a lot of restaurants do, which I haven't gone to, luckily, but not luckily, like I've made friends in other ways. But like you see, someone told me about it who I met from overseas, like community dining, where like restaurants will be like, pay $30, come in, you get a meal like pasta and a glass of wine, and they'll put you with people roughly your age. Like these restaurants are facilitating people making friends,
I don't
which
rate
I haven't
that.
even like. It's unnatural.
It's very unnatural because, like, I think to your point, Migs, making friends is through your hobbies, essentially. So if you went to Melbourne, you went to join a cricket club,
Yeah.
and you may have made some mates at the cricket club if they were not communists, potentially.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I moved to a different city, I would do the same thing. I'd find a local club, I'd find and play sport with them. I would become friends with the sport people because you have to, and hope that they would introduce me to their friends in some sort of social event. Like that's, I think, the trajectory of a friend. But I think like in Sydney, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't happen as often.
Like our football team, for example, right? We joined last year.
Yep.
Like you knew most of the guys, Loki. I kind of didn't.
Yep.
I got introduced to them.
Would you say you're friends?
I'm not going to say I'm
See,
friends,
that's
but
the
like,
thing. I think that's the difference. Like, let's say I joined a cricket team, right? Great blokes, to be clear, despite the communist affiliation. No, but like even some of them, like for example, some of them were like, "Oh, you obviously play cricket. You're interested in cricket. Would you want to go to watch the cricket together?"
Yeah.
Which is like a step. Like I know you, and we could just easily just see each other, once a week when we play cricket, and that could be actually like a very fine friendship. But to be like, oh,
Agreed.
like you're in, you're
it
new.
has to transcend.
Yeah, you're
the
new,
initial spot.
and I'm happy to, why don't you join me and my mates who might not be in the cricket team, to go watch. And then it's equally then, you're at the cricket and you're like, oh, I'm in Melbourne. I want to go to the tennis. Oh, when you go to the tennis, let me know. Like, I'd love to come.
That's beautiful. So simple.
Yeah. I think sport's a good one, but this is what I think people are more willing to like take it beyond the activity, even in activities. And then there's, I think, a culture of like,
Introducing.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you, Manny, happy to say Melbourne?
I'm not sold on either way. So yeah, I'm happy to.
All right. Let's move.
Slight win, yeah.
Alrighty, next one we have water features.
Oh, I mean, please.
Yeah. I mean,
So any body of water, we're talking Sydney Harbour, Darling Harbour, Bondi Beach, Manly Beach, Strathfield Fountain versus
the Yarra.
The Yarra. That's
really,
it.
the Yarra.
And the Yarra,
And,
like
St Kilda Beach.
when I order Brighton Beach.
Yeah, there are like other beaches, but then like if you're going to compare, then you're going to get every beach in Sydney, Manly, Central Coast, all of them. Like,
I mean, this is a no-brainer. I was actually shocked when I first went to Melbourne and I saw the Yarra. I had heard big things about the Yarra. I saw it. It was brown and there was lime scooters in there. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, riddle me that.
the only thing that I
here we
will
go.
say,
Go on.
just for devil's advocate,
Please.
our water bodies in Sydney, you can't walk on them, over them,
But
right?
Yeah.
I guess you definitely can walk over the harbour
You
bridge.
can watch
can't you? Never mind.
This is, look, literally any body of water, random body of water,
Yeah.
The pond near my house, Bella Vista Lake, potentially,
Beats milk.
beats the Yarra. So, tough
Yeah,
luck.
yeah.
We'll get Sydney on board for something.
Yeah,
please,
no,
please.
I think that's right.
right, finally we've got one. We're 5-2 down, Ro. We've got the last category. Only worth 1 point, but we'll still have a yarn. Casinos.
All right.
So we've got in Sydney, we've got the Star
Correct.
and we've got the Crown.
Are you allowed to gamble at the Crown?
We're talking about Crown Sydney?
Crown Sydney.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not us.
Yeah, not us. I think it's a high rollers only.
And then in Melbourne, we have the infamous Crown.
Big Crown.
The
live-
Crown.
You live in South Bank?
Yep.
Live a stone's throw
Stone's throw.
from
Steps
Yeah,
away.
yes,
When I say to your
literal
house,
steps away.
I literally walked 50 meters from the casino to your house.
Yeah. You
Hey.
did that journey multiple times from memory.
No, I didn't. Yeah, sometimes
woke you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Look, the Star to me is a derelict.
It is the quintessential area of degeneracy for me.
It is far away. And what I'm really upset about is that the minimum spend on a blackjack table is $25. That is a lot of money for me personally. That does not, align with my risk appetite. I would prefer a $5 table potentially.
I have a love-hate relationship with both the Star and the Crown.
I've also won more money at the Crown Melbourne. So Star Sydney, the first ever time I went gambling, I won. And then the rest of the time, which to be fair hasn't
Oh,
been a
what
lot,
coincidence.
I lost. Crown Melbourne, been there 3 times, won 3 times. So there's a bit more lucky vibes at the Crown in my opinion.
The casino itself, like the building, so like,
The architecture.
no. Like the complex, right?
Okay.
Crown, far better in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like the star is, yeah, you're right. First, it's out of the way. So it's like, you can't just stumble on the star. Like you have to actively like, how are we going to get to the star? We're going to end our night at the star, whatever. Crown, very close to the city. Literally a 10-minute walk.
Or a tram.
Free
tram.
Yeah. So the Crown, restaurants, all that stuff, far better. But the casino itself, I have mixed views because the Star feels homely to me. It's where I learned to love gambling.
You picked up Sickbo, you picked up Casino War, you picked up
I also
Spin the Wheel.
I also think this is maybe the degenerate gambler in me. The fact of it being far away means the people who are going are also degenerate. But like degenerate in the way that they know. There's no casuals.
Yeah.
Whereas the Crown, casuals galore. And I'm not saying like I'm okay with casuals every now and then. I'm not okay with like people just like ruining the game because like, you know.
How would a casual ruin a game, bro?
For example, a roulette spin.
Yeah.
Right? They'll hit the person will say no more bets. And you kind of know when they're about to say it because it's when the ball starts slowing down. People are trying to like do the casual, trying to do the maths on, it slows down there, it goes around 4.5 spins and they'll just start throwing money on. But the problem is sometimes, and it's happened once, firstly, like if the dealer's good and aware, they'll take away those chips. Problem is if they've got like blank $5 chips, you don't know, then you lose track. And if they put heaps on, so then either it invalidates the spin or if they're like, if someone hits, they'll argue.
Yeah.
But then they get the camera team out.
Yeah, the pit boss.
The
He
pit
comes
boss.
down.
And I'm now spending 17 minutes to spin because of this casual.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I want the degenerates who at least know the rules.
They know the rules.
They know the rules.
They know what's
but the
going on.
casuals bring the joy to the game, man.
Yeah, they also, you see the quick decline though with the casual sometimes. Like,
I would agree. I think the Star, you're right, is a better casino. Like, to be honest.
yeah.
The Crown, I don't know. It's something about it, like the carpets and stuff, bit smelly.
I also think the Crown is actually a bit too big and it feels empty. Like it doesn't have that like hum. Like you ever go to an...
Are we romanticizing the Star?
Yeah. Well, you ever go to like a sport game?
Yeah.
Right? For example, you go to the MCG or the SCG, right? Huge stadiums.
Mm.
And there's like 20,000 people. Even if there's 30,000 people,
Mhm.
it feels like empty,
Mhm.
right? You go to a small stadium that's 20,000 capacity and it's 20,000. There's a hum. There's an energy there. I'm getting that energy at the start.
I'm getting lines at the Star. I've just
You are getting lines at the Star,
every time
brother.
a Crown, I'm walking in, no lines. Star, I'm literally waiting in line, getting offered to buy light narcotics, every 5 minutes. My friend, by the way, dude, crazy story. My friend recently told me that he made $150,000 selling vapes at the casino for 2 years.
That's nuts.
There's a class
At the
business
Star.
module.
At the Star.
So it's ripe for business.
Yeah,
venture,
right for entrepreneurship. He would come in and then in his backpack, he would have just a stack of vapes and then he would sell each vape for $60. And because these degenerates are so focused on the tables, they don't want to get up, but they want to smoke because they've been drinking. So they just buy it off him. And he's got the little square thing and everything, dude.
That's
It's
wild.
a whole operation.
Going back to it, I think, look, Crown better, but if we're talking about the casino itself, I don't know, I have a love for the Star that I think
It can't be beat.
can't be beat.
I would go Crown, but if it's 2v1,
I'm going Star.
the Star takes it.
Yeah.
Lovely. So that leaves us at, what's the score?
It's 5-3.
5-3.
5-3. Done well. We're off to a horrible start. Does that mean Melbourne is a better city than Sydney? Is that what we're saying?
I think that's not a controversial opinion.
This is the thing. If you're born in Sydney, you probably won't move to Melbourne. If you're born in Melbourne, you probably won't move to Sydney. But I think it's, if someone's coming to Australia and they're doing these categories, and even if you put in 10 more categories,
Mm.
I reckon Melbourne's winning on the pros and cons list.
Wowee. What an episode. A little throwback to Rohan, who came on in episode 12 and has now rejoined us. Thank you very much. You would have saved another solo episode or a Pokemon Smash or Pass
Anytime.
type sitch. So thank you so much. Rohan, want to plug anything in particular?
Look, you would have heard about my cricket team.
Mm.
We always welcome new joiners.
New recruits?
Yeah, new recruits. Hit me up, and we can arrange that if you're looking for a cricket team in Melbourne.
Yeah, where do they hit you up?
Hit me up on Instagram
Mm.
at Rohan Balani.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mate, you do whatever you want here. Hit him up if you want to join cricket team and if you want to become a comrade. But thank you very much for listening. Please 5 stars on all platforms. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Instagram, we hit 10K. There we go. We want 20. We want 30. Kush has asked for incremental growth. I'm asking for exponential growth. But we'll see you guys next week.